Students, so we will learn today complex number. So chapter from 11th and the chapter from 11th, okay, that is the complex number 11th part 2. So make the title 11th part 2. Make the title M Mathematics. Mathematics 2. The chapter name is complex number. The word itself, the complex. The word itself, the complex. How it comes into the picture. That first we will see. So first we will analyze the how this complex number before the complex number, sorry, we will see the number history, right? So we know that first natural numbers. Write down natural numbers. Natural numbers. Okay, you know that natural number starts from what? And if we denote and if we write the set for the natural number, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, right, up to infinity. This is the set of natural numbers. Next, second, 0 came into the picture and the number history goes for the whole number. Whole number. Whole number. Okay, and in the natural number we have added the new form of number they have introduced, that is 0. Rest of the numbers are natural numbers. Rest of the numbers are natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, you're getting the point. Natural number, whole number, and then third one, what? If you take the difference of two natural numbers, suppose difference of two natural numbers, 1 minus 2 is minus 1. It doesn't belongs to the natural number. This minus 1 does not belongs to the natural number. Is it correct? The new numbers came into the picture. The new numbers came into picture, and that is integer. That is integer. The new numbers came into the picture. That is integer. Integer number. Okay. Then integer number generally we will denote on the number line. This integer numbers we will denote on the number line. How it? The integer number we will denote it on the number line. Okay, so the on the number line we will denote these numbers as mid is the 0, right side 1, 2, 3, these are the integers, and then minus 1 where we will get this number. Difference of two natural number is minus 1. Okay, that is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, which is less up to the minus infinity. This is up to the plus infinity. You're getting the point. And then new number again is just like the rational forms, right? Integer, and then after the numerator denominator format of the number, that is numerator denominator format of the numbers: natural number, whole number, integers, and rational number, which is in the form of p by q. Rational numbers, which is in the form of p by q. Rational number is in the form of p by q. Okay. Example, just like 2 by 3, which is not in the integer, which is not in the integer, minus 5 by 2. Okay, in this way. Every natural number, whole number, or integer number is the rational number. How? Every integer number is the rational number. Suppose we will take the 3, but we can mention it as 3 by 1. So it is the rational number. Like that, every integer number we can express in the form of natural number. Yes. Then they have introduced the new form of numbers again, which is not included in the rational numbers. Which is not included in the rational numbers. That is rational form and all the above forms. Rational with all above forms. That is real numbers. Real number. Real number. It includes rational, irrational forms and all above. All above numbers will include in the real number. All above numbers all above numbers include in real number. So this is the biggest set till your 10th. Till your 10th. Natural number, whole number, integers, rational, and the real number. All above numbers included in the real number. Means natural number, whole number, integer, rational number, right? And irrational forms. Rational, irrational forms especially. Rational and irrational form. Rational and irrational. Rational and irrational. We know that in irrational form, example, root 2, root 3, this pi, right? These numbers will include in the irrational form of numbers. Now, in this case, we have to see the new number, that is complex number. Now, the history comes here and we will use the new number, that is complex number. Complex number. Okay, complex number that we should have to see. Before complex number, we have to check it where this number comes from. Where this number comes from, that we should have to check. Okay, for the complex number, we have to be mentioned here some numbers. Okay, we will leave the space for that and I will explain the complex number. In the 10th, we have seen the quadratic equation. We have seen the quadratic equation, which is nothing but the x square plus x, suppose plus 1 equal to 0. If we didn't get the factors, then we will, for this quadratic equation, we will do the factors by using the formula. Which formula? Just see here, x square coefficient is 1, x coefficient is 1, and this is also 1. This is also 1. Actual quadratic equation was x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. If you compare this with ax square bx plus c equal to 0, then you will get a equal to 1, b equal to 1, and c equal to 1. Are you getting the point? And then we will see that if the factors is not possible, then we will use the formula. What is that formula? So x equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay. So in this case, we will use the formula which is root of, okay, root of b square minus 4ac divided by a. So x equal to minus 1 plus or minus root of b square 1 square minus 4 into 1 into 1. Okay, this is the solution of the quadratic equation where we are using the formula 2 into 1. Okay, minus 1 plus or minus root of 1 minus 4 divided by 2, divided by 2. In this case, we will see here काय ऑब्झर्व होतं इथं प्लस और मायनस रूट ऑफ 1 minus 4 is minus 3. Okay, divided by 2. In this case, we can see here this number is not the real number. Root of minus 3 is not the real number. If we observe, this is not the real number. How? The root of b square minus 4ac, that is root of b square minus 4ac. Up till now, up to the 10th, we have seen this as a positive real number. Okay, in this case, we can see here the number is a root of negative but real, root of negative but real. So how to simplify this? How we can simplify this? Okay, that we should have to see. I will explain again this part. B square minus 4ac, up till now, up to the 10th, we have seen that it was positive. So root of b square minus 4ac, this number is always root of positive real. Okay, now in this case it is negative real number is not the real number. Root of real number is the real number. Example, root of 4, suppose root of 4 is the 2, root of 16 is the 4, but root of minus 4 is not the 2. Okay, but we can mention here root of minus 4. How to write? Root of minus 1 into root 4. Okay, separate it. Root of minus 1 into root of 4. So root of minus 1, yes, this is called the imaginary iota. This is called root of minus 1 is nothing but the iota. And root of 4, we know that already, it is 2. So whatever number we got it, that is 2i, right? So we required the root of minus 3. We required actually root of minus 3. We required here root of minus 3. Are you clear this point? This is the number form we are getting in the form of imaginary. We are getting in the form of imaginary. So how to write this root? In this case, we will write this root as, minus 1 plus or minus this can be shift as minus 1 into root 3. 3 divided by 2. Okay, so minus 1 plus or minus root of minus 1 into root 3. Okay, divided by 2. So how this overcomes? How this come? This minus 1 plus or minus what is root of minus 1 is nothing but the iota. Is nothing but the iota into root 3 divided by 2. Okay, so how to write this number? Minus 1 plus or minus root 3i divided by 2. We will separate the denominator. या ठिकाणी denominator separate the denominator. Now we will get, I will explain here again, this root of minus 3, this root of minus 3 we have written in the form of, okay, real part with root negative, real part with root negative. So how to express this? कसं एक्सप्रेस करणार याला? रूट ऑफ मायनस वन, रूटमध्येच मल्टिप्लिकेशनमध्ये 3, रूट ऑफ मायनस वन into root 3. So root of minus 1 is nothing but iota. Root of minus 1 is nothing but the iota. So root 3. So this number is now root 3. So this is root 3i. You got this point. So root of positive real number is the real number. Root of positive real number is the real number. Is it correct? But root of negative real number is not the real number. Then what it is called? Then we called it as imaginary number. We call this as imaginary number. Okay, so this real root of negative real number is not the real number. Okay, we are clear here. And then what it called? It called as imaginary number. Imaginary number. It is called as imaginary part. So with the I or without I, we can observe the number here with I or without I. We'll make this as a two split form. We'll make this as two split form. One is the plus, another one is the minus. So this is minus 1 by 2 plus root 3 by 2i. This is another form, minus 1 by 2 minus root 3 by 2 I form. Here we can observe, this is without I. This is without I. Without I. This is with I. This format is with I. With I. Okay. This is without I, with I. Then how we can analyze this? Minus 1 by 2 plus root 3 by 2 I, this form, we can say that this is the real part, this is without I, this is with I. So we called it as real plus imaginary. Real plus imaginary. So first part minus 1 by 2, first part minus 1 by 2, first part minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, okay, and second part plus root 3 by 2 I. So this is the real part, and this is with I, so we called it as imaginary. So this real plus imaginary, real without I plus real plus imaginary part, Real plus imaginary part. Without, with I, without I. With I, without I. This is without I. Without I. This is with I. Basically, this is also the real number, but with I. This is also the real number. Imaginary part contain, imaginary part contain the real number, but it is with I. But it is with I. Imaginary part contain the real number. This is also the real. This is also real. This is also real. With I, without I. That is the difference. That is the difference. Okay. So this real plus imaginary part is called as complex number. This real plus imaginary part is called as complex number. So how it denotes? The complex number is denoted by Z. Complex number is denoted by Z. Complex number is denoted by the Z. So Z equal to, complex number is denoted by Z equal to A plus IB. Now just we have seen Z equal to minus 1 by 2 plus root 3 divided 3 by 2 and the I. Okay, or we have seen Z equal to minus 1 by 2 plus root 3 by 2 I, but was negative. काय होता हा number? Negative. It was negative. So real plus imaginary is called as complex number. If you compare these two, A equal to what? Minus 1 by 2. B equal to what? Root 3 by 2, not the I now. This both A and B are, real number. Both A and B are real number. In this case also, if you compare this with Z equal to A plus IB, if you compare this with Z equal to A plus IB, then what is the value of A and what is the value of B? In this case, we can say that A equal to minus 1 by 2. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? Yes, doubt राहिलाच नाही पाहिजे आता. So B equal to minus root 3 by 2 I लिहायचं नाही. This term is without I. This term is with I. This term is without I. This term is with I. So this is also real. A is real, B is real. A, B both are belongs to the real. A comma B belongs to real. Okay, but A, B is with I. So this is called as imaginary. This is called as imaginary. So real plus imaginary part is called as the complex number. So we have seen the new type of number, that is the complex number. Have you got the point? In our syllabus, we will see this part as the new number history. So new number form, that is complex number. How it comes? कुठून आला हा नंबर? काय घेतलेला आपण? एक quadratic form घेतलेला. एक quadratic form घेतला होता, right? आणि त्या quadratic साठी we have seen the factors. We have seen the factors for that. Factors आपण ऑब्झर्व केले आणि फॅक्टर्स मध्ये आपल्याला ऑब्झर्व झालं की रूट ऑफ -3. Okay, root of -3. But this is not the real number. This is not the real number. Then how we will treat this form? How we will treat this form? That is the big challenge for the mathematicians. Every time we need not to be right root of -3. Every time we need not to be right the root of -1, right? Like that. So they have split this part, just like root of 4 is what? 2. Root of 4 is the 2. Root of 16 is the 4. Similarly, root of minus 4 is not the 2. Then how? Root of minus 1 into 4. Root of minus 1, separate it. Root of 4, separate it. So then they have denoted this root of minus 1 as the iota. Root of minus 1 as the iota. Root of minus 1 as the iota. Root of minus 1 they have denoted as the iota. So this I is nothing but the iota. I is nothing but the iota. This I is nothing but iota. This I is called as iota. That is the imaginary. Basically, 2 is the real number, but with the I, it is called as imaginary. It is called as imaginary. So real plus imaginary, right? Real plus imaginary is called as complex number. किती सोपं आहे. क्वाड्रॅटिक इक्वेशन होतं. क्वाड्रॅटिक इक्वेशनचे आपण काय घेतले? क्वाड्रॅटिक इक्वेशनसाठी आपण फॅक्टर्स घेतले, राईट. फॅक्टर्स पडत नव्हते, फॉर्म्युला वापरला, त्या फॉर्म्युल्याचा आधार घेऊन इथपर्यंत आलं, राईट. काय लक्षात ठेवायचं तुम्हाला? रूट ऑफ निगेटिव्ह रियल नंबर इज नॉट द रियल नंबर, इट इज बेसिकली इमॅजिनरी नंबर. सो रियल प्लस इमॅजिनरी. मग याच्यामधले अंडरस्टँडिंग काय? तर नंबर बाबतीत सिंपल फॉर्मॅट आलाय. नंबर बाबतीत एक टर्म विदाउट आय आहे. वन टर्म काय आहे? विदाउट आय. इज कॉल्ड एज रियल पार्ट. वन टर्म √3/2 which is with the I. Without I, with I. So real plus imaginary is called the complex number. Real plus imaginary is called the complex number. अगदी simple language वापर. Okay. So complex number कशाने डिनोट करतात? complex number डिनोट करतात z equal to a plus ib. So z equal to a minus 1/2, b √3/2. So z equal to minus 1/2 हे फॅक्टर्स होते, राईट. दोन फॅक्टर फॉर्म्स क्रिएट केले होते आपण. वन इज द प्लस, अनदर वन इज द मायनस. वन इज द प्लस, वन इज द प्लस, अनदर वन इज द मायनस. दोन फॉर्म्स घेतले होते आपण फक्त इथं. सो याच्याशी रिलेटेड जस्ट याचा स्पीड बघितला आपण आणि वी हॅव कम्पेअर्ड इट विथ द झेड ॲज द कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर. कळलं? कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर कसा डिनोट करतात? रियल पार्ट and imaginary part. Real part plus imaginary part. So z equal to a plus ib हा concept. z equal to a plus ib. Real part वेगळा लिहायचा, imaginary part वेगळा लिहायचा. आता इथं अंडरस्टूड असतं. z equal to a plus ib ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही लिहिता त्यावेळेस a आणि b बोथ काय आहेत? रियल नंबर आहे. रियल पार्ट म्हणजे विदाउट आय. रियल पार्ट म्हणजेच विदाउट आय. इमॅजिनरी पार्ट म्हणजे विथ आय असणारा नंबर. दॅट्स इट. सो या नंबर हिस्ट्रीसाठी वी विल सी वन पार्ट दॅट इज स्मॉलेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ सेट इज द नॅचरल नंबर. स्मॉलेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ द नंबर्स वी हॅव सीन द नॅचरल नंबर. सगळ्यात स्मॉलेस्ट कुठले नंबर्स बघितले? तर नॅचरल नंबर. नॅचरल नंबर, येस, राईट इट डाऊन ॲज द नोट. नोट म्हणून लिहून घ्या. 1500 रुपयाची नोट नाही, मॅथमॅटिकल नोट. ओके, mathematical note. Here we can say that natural number is the subset of whole number, right? Whole number मध्ये एक zero extra असतो, zero extra असतो. Okay, and then whole number cannot contain the negative numbers, so integer I किंवा z ने डिनोट करतात. I किंवा z ने डिनोट करतात. integer, positive or negative, integer number. Okay, then integer is the subset of rational irrational. Rational irrational is the subset of all forms. Real, Q basically rational number form. R will contain all the natural number, all the form of numbers. and then new number came into the picture, and that is called as the complex number, which is denoted by C. Just real number is denoted by R, तसं कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर कशाने डिनोट करतात, सी न डिनोट करतात. ओके, n for the natural number, n for the natural number, n denotes natural number, n denotes the natural number, w denotes whole number. Okay, natural number, whole number, thus we have seen the integer, and then q, rational form. या रॅशनल नंबरचा फार मोठा यूज आहे. रॅशनल नंबर म्हणजेच कुठला फॉर्म, पी बाय क्यू फॉर्मॅट. ओके, and then real, we already know we are using these numbers. Okay, on the number line we will see always the positive, negative, rational, integers, whole number, like that. So these are the real number, and just we have seen the new number, that is the complex number, that is the complex number. New number we have seen, that is called as complex number. This is the number history, we can say. This is the number history, and now we will study exactly the complex number. नंबर बाबतीत आपण फर्स्ट स्टँडर्ड पासून लर्न आउट करायला, ज्युनियर के जी, सिनियर के जी पासून लर्न आउट करायला. ओके, मराठी मीडियमच्या मुलांसाठी बालवाडीपासून तुम्ही शिकत आलेले, बरोबर आहे. सो नंबर बाबतीत न्यू नंबर फक्त आपण लर्न आउट करणार आहे, दॅट इज कॉल्ड ॲज द कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर. तर त्या बाबतीत फर्स्ट द चॅप्टर कंटेंट काय राहतं, तर दॅट इज द डिफरंट पॉवर्स ऑफ आय. Different powers of I. So make the title different powers of I. We can say that first concept. Okay, first concept काय, different powers of I. Different powers of I हा concept आपल्याला learn करायचा. Different powers of I. आत्ताच आपण पाहिलं, काय पाहिलं, रूट ऑफ -1, रूट ऑफ -1 is the I. Root of -1 is the I. Then I square, that is I equal to root of -1, squaring on both the side. If you take square on both, if you take squaring on both sides, squaring on both the sides, squaring on both sides जर घेतलं तर काय होईल, I चा स्क्वेअर, ओके, I स्क्वेअर आणि रूट ऑफ -1 चा स्क्वेअर, I स्क्वेअर रूट ऑफ -1 चा स्क्वेअर. That is I square equal to what, -1. I square equal to -1. Okay, so first we have seen I कशाबद्दल रिप्लेस केला आपण, रूट ऑफ -1. Then we have seen I square as the -1. Now find out I raised to 3. Now we will find out I raised to 3. I raised to 3 काय असेल, I raised to 3 can be written as I square into I. Laws of indices. Laws of indices. Laws of indices काय सांगतात, a raised to, right, a raised to m, a raised to n जर असेल तर a raised to m plus n मध्ये लिहितो आपण, m plus n. सो a raised to m वेगळा करू शकता, a raised to n वेगळा करू शकता. इथं 3 as the 2 plus 1 आहे, 3 काय आहे, 2 plus 1. सो इथं 2 वेगळा, इथं 1 वेगळा, इथं 2. I raised to 2, I raised to 1. I raised to 2 किती, I raised to 2 किती, I raised to 2 is nothing but minus 1. I square ची value किती? Minus 1. Substitute here. Minus 1 into I. So finally minus I. Okay, I raised to 3, we got it. So I raised to 3 is minus I. Now next, I raised to 4. I raised to 4 can be written as I square into I square. I square into I square. I square ची value minus 1. परत एकदा I square minus 1. So minus minus becomes plus. Okay, minus minus becomes plus 1. So I raised to 4 is plus 1. Now I raised to 4 is plus 1. Color. So this is the important point for the different powers of I, which is the simplest form for the remember. For the remembering, we will use this form I raised to 4. I raised to 4 equal to 1 हा आपण always convert करण्यासाठी utilize करणार. तसं तर हे सगळेच फॉर्म्स काय इंडिकेट करतात? रूट ऑफ मायनस 1 इज द I square minus 1, I raised to 3 minus I raised to 4 1. Okay, so this is the different powers of I साठी. Different powers of I साठी first concept घेतला, root of minus 1 is the I. Now we have square on both the sides. We have taken the squaring on both the sides. Okay, त्यावरून काय मिळालं आपल्याला? I square ची व्हॅल्यू minus 1 मिळाली. त्यानंतर I raised to 3, I square into I square minus 1 into I minus I. And next fourth, I raised to 4, I square into I square minus 1 plus 1. I raised to 4 is plus 1. This is first I root of minus 1. So always use root of minus 1 as the I. And then I square minus 1 minus 1. I square minus 1. I raised to 3 minus I raised to 4 plus 1. So this is most important. Okay. So we will convert as per the questions given in the textbook. Textbook मध्ये जसे questions दिले तसे आपण थोडे पाहणार आहे. Okay. Take down the related this numerical part. Okay. Examples. Examples कसे exam मध्ये विचारतात. That's it. Examples. Okay. त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला विचारलं जातं most of the cases तर convert, evaluate. Question is evaluate basic question या पद्धतीने असू शकतो. ओके, सो याबद्दलची थेअरी तुम्ही व्यवस्थित करा. न्यूमरिकल्स नेक्स्ट लेक्चरमध्ये मी तुम्हाला घेणारच आहे. सो कंटिन्यू फॉर दॅट. आणि ही हिस्ट्री थोडंसं ब्रीफमध्ये लक्षात ठेवा. यू कॅन गेन इट द कन्सेप्ट इझिली. कन्सेप्ट माहीत असणं फार गरजेचं आहे. ओके, रिवाइज करा कन्सेप्ट, कशाला काय म्हणतात ते. वी आर ॲट द डिफरंट पॉवर्स ऑफ आय, त्याच्याबद्दलचे मी तुम्हाला क्वेश्चन्स घेणार आहे. सो गो थ्रू द ब्रीफिंग ऑफ द कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर कशाला म्हणतात ते, आणि त्यानंतर डिफरंट पॉवर्स ऑफ आय वरती आपण क्वेश्चन्स घेणार आहे. डिफरंट ऑफ पॉवर्स ऑफ आय साठी तुम्हाला काय लागेल? I square, I cube, I raised to 4. This is very important for the next lecture. Okay, नेक्स्ट लेक्चरसाठी हे तेवढंच इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. थँक्यू फॉर युअर पेशन्स. आणि नक्कीच पुढचं पार्ट कंटिन्युएशनमध्ये ठेवा डिफरंट पॉवर्स ऑफ आय साठी. असेच कन्सेप्ट 1 by 1 तुम्हाला घेण्यात येते. असेच सर्व कन्सेप्ट 1 by 1 घेण्यात येतील. तरी चेक करा पेज नंबर 4. पेज नंबर 4 महाराष्ट्र टेक्स्टबुकचं पेज नंबर 4 तुम्ही चेक करू शकता. ओके, thank you. We will continue in the next part.